Welcome to this episode of our program, Daily Debate. Today we'll be speaking in two segments about two important topics. Today the world has mourned Queen Elizabeth II in a funeral that saw a lot or a number of heads of states and governments attending. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli participated in the funeral of Queen Elizabeth on behalf of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The President himself has called on Saturday King Charles III and offered his condolences to the King over the death of Queen Elizabeth and to the British government and people. Definitely we'll be speaking about prospects of relations between Egypt and Britain at this upcoming stage. We'll be also highlighting the procession that took place today and worth mentioning that Britain is one of the largest countries who are investing in Egypt in various sectors: the financial services, energy, construction, tourism, pharmaceutical products, textile and communication. And the chamber, or the Egyptian British Chamber of Commerce, play an important role in supporting and developing trade and economic cooperation between businessmen from both countries. There are lots of prospects for cooperation at this upcoming stage with a new British government that the Prime Minister, while attending yesterday a banquet ceremony for all the heads of states and leaders of the world who were to attend today's funeral, held talks with the King and with the new British Prime Minister, who emphasized the keenness of her country to boost cooperation and relation with Egypt at this upcoming stage. We'll be speaking about that in our first segment. In our second segment, we will highlight Egypt's pivotal role in enhancing the stability of the region, which reflects on the Egyptian-Arab economic integration. And that was very much highlighted during the 48th session of the Arab Labour Conference organized by the Arab Labour Organization, the ALO, that kicked off on Sunday under the patronage of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. We'll be speaking about that in our second segment. Before we delve into our discussion, let me first take the top stories of the day. And President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met on Monday with Indian Defense Minister Rajnath Singh. The meeting was also attended by the General Commander of the Armed Forces, Minister of Defense and Military Production, Lieutenant General Mohammad Zaki. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Bassam Radi said the President conveyed his greetings to Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. President Sisi also confirmed that Egypt values the historical ties it shares with India, underlining its interest to enhance bilateral relations, particularly in the military and defense fields. He also expressed his keen interest in activating the partnership between the two friendly countries to commensurate with their capabilities in all fields. Indian Defense Minister conveyed Prime Minister Modi's greetings to President Sisi, expressing his country's appreciation for the progress and prosperity in Egyptian-Indian relations. He stressed India's keenness on strengthening their historical relations in light of the comprehensive development that Egypt is currently witnessing under the leadership of President Sisi, as well as Egypt's pivotal and decisive role in combating and eradicating terrorism. In our second top story of the day, the Presidential Committee overseeing the file of pardoned inmates said on Monday it is working to reintegrate released prisoners into society by creating jobs for them, adding that measures are taken for some of the pardoned inmates to restore their previous jobs. It also said that it is coordinating with bodies concerned to solve some procedural matters regarding travel bans and sequestration of funds. Member of Egypt's Presidential Pardon Committee, Mohammed Abdelaziz, said that the pardon requests are currently reviewed at a faster pace in a message of reassurance to families. Abdelaziz thanked President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for launching the National Dialogue in April, which started with activating the Presidential Pardon Committee. He added that the goal of the dialogue is to find common grounds among different parties and deliver a message that steps of building the new republic are interconnected in accordance with a unified vision. The Egyptian authorities released on Thursday another group of 46 pre-trial detainees as per a decision by the public prosecution. And back to our topic of the day, or the first segment. And before we start with our discussion, let's first have this quick report. Egypt, Britain, and an extended partnership. Let's watch.
The body of Britain's Queen Elizabeth II was buried today in the presence of many world leaders in a grand funeral that reflected the status of the late Queen locally and globally, and her role in achieving stability and global peace, defending the interests of the United Kingdom and preserving the British Crown. The Queen contributed to strengthening the strategic relations and distinguished partnerships between Egypt and Britain, as it witnessed a great boom during the past years at all levels, the political, economic and commercial. On the economic side, Britain is an important trade partner to Egypt. The volume of trade exchange between the two countries exceeds $2 billion. There are many British investments in Egypt, especially in the sectors of transport, technology, agriculture, industry, and others. There are also many promising opportunities that can be benefited from between the two sides, especially the giant national projects in Egypt, such as the development access in the Suez Canal and the new administrative capital and others, which represent an attractive environment for British investments in light of the British openness to Egypt and the Middle East to build and strengthen economic partnerships after the British exit from the European Union. On the political level, there is a consensus in the visions between Egypt and the UK on enhancing security and stability in the Middle East and on confronting the dangers of terrorism and illegal immigration. There is no doubt that coordination between the two countries is an important factor in facing these challenges and working to solve the conflicts and problems of the region, especially the peaceful settlement of the crises in Syria, Yemen, Libya, and others, in a way that preserves the unity and sovereignty of these countries. Confronting climate change and reducing heat emissions are also common issues between Egypt and the UK, in light of the multiple initiatives sponsored by King Charles III in this field. Egypt also has presented a practical model in the expansion of clean energy and green economy, and is working to mobilize international alignment and consensus at the COP27 due to be held in Sharm el-Sheikh in November to come up with realistic and workable results regarding the commitments of developed countries towards climate change and support developing countries to face the consequences of the climate on them. There is no doubt that King Charles III has strong and good relations with Egypt, which reflects the continuity of the distinguished and extended strategic partnership between the two countries.